This is Matthew McConaughey.
Natalie Portman.
James Patterson,
Michael Ian Black,
And you are listening to
Five questions
with Dan Schawbel.
Michael, welcome to Five Questions.
Great to be with you, Dan.
How did both selling newspaper subscriptions and playing with technology as a teenager lead to you starting your company?
Probably did playing with computers had more to do with it. And, when I was, in high school, it was kind of the dawn of the microprocessor age. And I got enthralled by the power of the PC and also saw that the way the machines were being sold was pretty inefficient and, thought I could do it in a better way.
Yeah. And, clearly you're somebody who is not just curious, but you're actually willing to put the effort in. So there's the work ethic behind that and that curiosity. I find that with a lot of successful people, curiosity is a big driver for their performance.
Yeah, I talk a lot about curiosity in the book. It's certainly something I believe a lot in. And I think people underrate that as a valuable skill. But certainly for me, I've always had a desire to learn and understand things. When I first got my first computer, first thing I did was take it apart, because how could you understand how it works if you don't take it apart, right? So that's kind of how I understood the world. And what a wonderful time to be learning. There's so many incredible opportunities out there.
Yeah, and the past repeats itself, which prepares you for the future. And so many people see the output of everything you've done in terms of, everyone knows who you are, everyone knows your company, but they don't see the struggles. They don't see the journey that you've lived. And, clearly you've enjoyed that journey. So you've had many failures over the course of running Dell. What have you learned from these experiences that helped you become a better business person?
Well, the best thing you can do is to fix it as fast as you find it, right? Anybody who says they've had a lot of success and hasn't failed is just lying, right? And look, I think at the core of success is curiosity, learning, and failure. And it's experiment, try something. Maybe it works, probably doesn't work, adjust it, keep. So, kind of this, failure is just an integral part of success. Nobody just succeeds, all by itself.
Yeah. You make your own luck, right? You put yourself in a position where you can succeed. It just doesn't come to you, right? It's not like winning a lottery ticket. And a lot of those people lose that money anyways. Speaking like the HR world, in terms of, we've gone through this pretty remarkable few years of HR transformation. Talent, is now everywhere. Jobs are coming to people more so than people are going to jobs. The future of work, in many cases is hybrid. How do you evaluate talent when you make hiring decisions?
Yeah, so I think it's pretty context specific, right? Because we're not always looking for we don't want all the talent to be the same, right? What we were really looking for is the ability to grow and to learn and to scale, inside the business. And when I think about who we're going to hire and who we're going to promote and who we're going to give more responsibility, we're thinking, a couple of years down the road and further, how far can this person continue to grow and develop? That's really a key objective function. And obviously that, learning mindset, we talk about having big ears, inside the company and be listening all the time. Super important.
Yeah. And I think that's even more relevant right now. We're, in this great period where there's over 10 million unfilled jobs, right? It's very competitive to find talent, but you're thinking years down the road, how can I, recruit someone who could be the next person who reports to me potentially, right? And I think, there's many of the greatest companies and leaders that I've interviewed that's what they do. I mean, they start looking at talent in like middle school and high school now, much like, recruiting for a sports team, they're recruiting their next, executive. And billionaire CEOs like Jeff Bezos, Jack Dorsey, Elon Musk, obviously names people have heard of before, have started multiple companies or have ventured into space. What are your plans for the next phase of your career, and how do you intend to spend your life?
Great. So I'm involved in three companies. I'm the three public companies, chairman of three public companies, the CEO of one. My wife and I have a family foundation that we are spending more and more time on, and I think that'll occupy a increasing percentage of my focus going forward. And I've also got an asset management company that I set up, MSD Capital, MSD Partners, that's become a large alternative investment asset company. So that has me involved in lots of different exciting businesses. All that and 4 kids, that keeps me pretty busy.
Oh, and a book. So you got a lot of stuff going on. And
book was a lot of fun. Book was a lot of fun.
And the percentage by which you divvy up your time obviously changes as you get older and things become more or less important. And back to what you were saying before, it's getting the leaders, who can support these next phases of your career as well, because it's a team sport. And what's your best piece of career advice?
Best piece of career advice is, when you find a problem, fix it as fast as you find it. Pretty simple, but it works.
Yeah, it's like stop the bleeding, put out the forest fire before it catches on. Things get worse.
Yeah, things get worse. Nobody comes to you and says, "Boy, I wish you would have waited longer to make that decision." Right? It's like that never happens. So, when you find a problem, go fix it right away. Don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to have the difficult conversations that need to be had to get things, back on track and fixed.
Yeah, that's great advice. And thank you so much for being on the show.
Absolutely. Great to be with you.